Earth to self path, or we could say the path of negativity, evolves through the fourth density through the extreme narcissism, greed, and hatred in order to polarize further down the negative path. They skip over activating the fourth chakra or the heart chakra,
Right.
meaning the entity views love and compassion as completely useless.
Right.
And because of this skipping over the fourth chakra activation or energy center, the evolution through the fourth density is much longer and more difficult for the negative path, or you could say painful. Now, going back to the concept I said, going back to Christ or Christ awareness or Christ consciousness, Christ said, if any man does not come through me, or any man does not come through the heart chakra,
Come on.
and move into the spiritual realm or
Come
the
on.
higher realms,
Uh-huh.
he's a thief and a liar. Now, everybody has their interpretation of that, but I'm saying here that when you move into the spiritual realm without love, compassion, and mercy, and these kind of principles, you become a different type of being.
Right.
I mean, you might have something that's, well, what are the fruits of the spirit of love?
Exactly.
Mercy, compassion, right? Long suffering.
Exactly.
Love does not boast, right? It doesn't do some of these things that that you might read in the Bible,
Right.
which are often quoted, you know what I mean, in several circles.
Yeah.
And I would venture to say this just as a reminder, like, as you take on a path of discernment, every relationship that you build with somebody is teaching you the truth about love.
Right.
Right? And a lot of times you don't like what that looks like or what that feels like. But it is necessary for your development
Oh, I forgot something.
spiritually.
Right.
And where you may be weak in compassion, the love is that you'll get more opportunities to exercise compassion
Right.
Right.
Until you get it.
Right.
And when I say until you get it, you're no longer attached to a certain outcome, right, that separates you from that element of love.
Okay. So I missed something in the third density, and I'm just gonna say it and then jump on the same construct with the fourth. So I forgot to say that the third density is self-awareness and the choice. Yellow ray, we said solar plexus. It's a
Right.
chemical body.
Right.
It's our current density level, technically. It's the shortest and most intense of all densities. The introduction of polarity and the veil of forgetting is in this density for your soul's evolution. And the choice is made between polarities in the third density. Now, moving to where we are currently, which is the fourth density, which is love and understanding. It aligns with the green ray or the heart chakra.
Right.
It's a chemical / light body. So now we're moving into light, back into the light construct.
Exactly.
The average incarnation cycle is about 90,000 years. The full evolutionary cycle of this density is around 30 million years. And remember, as we reckon time.
Right.
Now, some schools of thought said the Earth shifted into the fourth density around 2012. And the Earth will now begin evolving fourth density bodies. So for some of you that don't know, about, what's it now, 3 years ago, I was dealing with high blood pressure and things of that nature. And I was trying not to be on anybody's medication. And certain things started happening as far as D Herb's herbal 21 day herbal cleanse kept coming up in my feeds. And I was like, what is this? I kept ignoring it. And then I was like, okay, well, something's trying to tell me something.
Right.
And to make a long story short, I took this 21 day herbal cleanse. It's not really a plug, but it's a plug, I guess. And I lost 45 pounds in 21 days. My blood pressure just dropped.
Right.
All the excess fat or anything, visceral fat, just went away. And I'm more tapped in, for lack of better terms, into what we consider spiritual matters. I hear sometimes, I feel, my knowing has increased. And what else? Did I see? Did I say see? I see things. Somebody say you just crazy. No, I see things. My third eye, if I focus, when I close my eyes and I focus, I'll actually see
Faces.
vivid visions of persons, places, and things.
I just want to touch on something you said. Like when a person says, like, well, you crazy,
Right.
right? A lot of times, I'm of a concentration that, like, when you see people who may be in asylums or something like that, they probably couldn't handle the influx of spiritual information that was coming into their mind,
Right. Yeah.
as opposed to you structuring your awareness, right, to deal with things incrementally, right? So, like, if you take a computer, if you overload the computer with information, you're gonna destroy it.
It crashes.
It
Can
crashes.
crash. Right.
It can malfunction.
Right.
And we can see that a computer is nothing more than a demonstration of a brain
Right.
holding information, storing information, computing information, whatever. Right? So again, we use these words or we use phrases to compensate for our ability or inability to perceive things that are in another realm.
Or we can say that to perceive things that's beyond our state of consciousness.
Yes.
Right.
Just to add to what you said, Spirit is telling me I have to say this. It's the same thing with psychedelics.
Yeah.
Cannabis. If you want to do ayahuasca and all, different medicines. We call them medicines. I'm not talking about things that are non-natural. That's chemicals added. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with them, but just like Adon says, when you do the work, meditation, prayer, focus, mindfulness, so on and so forth, you're actually conditioning yourself to be prepared to enter
Right.
what we call altered states of consciousness. So it's like you're training yourself to do a feat. So the warning, I say, you do what you want to do, but this is just a warning or an understanding, or as my brother would say, an awareness, is that when you take certain psychedelics and you've not done certain types of work, it could catapult you
Right.
into an altered state of consciousness. And what could happen is you may go so far out into that realm, you may not, one, come back. You may not come back whole. And what I mean by that, you may have one state of your awareness in that place and another in this place. And when you start to interact with people, it can become confusing. And you're not really grounded.
Right.
See, a lot of people think that we need to escape. Escapism.
Right.
A lot of times being inebriated or drinking alcohol, these things alter your state of consciousness.
Right.
Whether it's casually or not. So what'll happen is, in that altering, things that could be coming to deal with you, you may be in a lower state of vibration, and these things may not be, I don't know the term to say, savory or higher consciousness or higher dimensional beings, as we say, angelic beings, high spirit guides. Right. They may be what we consider lower astral entities, beings like you and I who've transitioned and have not let go of things in this realm, who they may have functioned in a lower state of consciousness when they were physical, and they chose not to go to heal. So what happened is you put yourself in a frequency or vibration to where they can handle you or deal with you in ways that may not be for your highest and best good, but it's all a part of your choice. Right. Nothing comes to you or deals with you without you choosing on some level, whether you're conscious of it or unconscious of it, you give permission. Permission is always needed.
Right.
Right.
Everything is a choice.
Everything is a choice.
Every action is a choice. Whatever you want to be in life is a choice. Whatever. And why I'm saying this, because I saw a video earlier that was talking about, do you choose to be homosexual or what have you? Yeah, you chose it. On some kind of level, you chose that.
Okay.
So you choose these things. Now, there's no such thing as you don't. You choose. You chose for yourself. It's just that simple. Now, you may wanted to experience that. That's what you wanted to experience.
It's funny because I was thinking paradox, and it's like I was like, well, somebody would say, well, you didn't choose to be black. Yes, I did.
Yes, I did.
You can't choose your skin color, your skin tone. Yes, you can.
Right.
You just don't remember because of the veil.
Right.
And I know, I mean, you believe what you want to believe. That's your belief. You take it on. But I'm just saying that everything on some level, again, we're 3D, 4D beings. When you choose, you're in 4D, 5D, 6D realms of awareness when you make your choices and decisions to come back. And we'll get into that as we move up into the fifth and sixth and seventh densities. But yeah, everything is a choice. This whole existence is based on choice. Anybody had anything else? Did we had anything else to say about the fourth chakra? We talked about the color.
The element, I think,
and body parts managed. Okay, the element is air. Yeah. The body parts managed is managed. The anahata manages the heart, the circulatory system, the blood, lungs, rib cage, breasts, shoulders, arms, hands, and along with other chakras, the diaphragm and the esophagus.
Right. And I got other things on the chart that I have. It even have food or what you should eat to get these chakras, moving. The heart chakra one is vegetables.
Okay.
I'm gonna just go through the ones that we done. The solar plex says grains. The sacral says liquids.
Okay.
And the root chakra says proteins.
Okay.
But like I say, proteins can be they're lower base things. So
perhaps. As far as Sanskrit names, the anahata can be translated as unstruck sound. It can also mean unhurt, unbeaten. That's so interesting. I keep thinking of Christ. One of the reasons for these names is that the various pranas or vital breaths flow through the shushuma or shushumna, the central energy channel along the spine and into the manipura, after which the seed sounds or bijas of the alphabet automatically appear in the fourth chakra. These sounds vary depending on the shape of the breath of different nadis. The more powerful the pressure of the air on the chakra, the more pronounced the seed sound. The important thing to note is that the sounds of these letters are generated without external friction, which is the vibration of sound waves that we usually associate with sound. Hence the term unstruck sound. So, yeah, the heart is, again, I guess I'm only speaking to the love light beings. The heart is very important.
Right.
You know, when you're talking about compassion, mercy, and then you start moving into the gate where, I like to say, I have no enemies.
Right. No, there's no competition.
There's only yourself.
It's only yourself.
Right.
So who are you fighting?
So a lot of the information I got, right? Where's that book? A lot of the information, I came upon this book twice in my lifetime. The first time I saw it, it was in the military. I saw it on the desk. I looked at it. I thumbed through it, and I was like, this is a bunch of baloney, and I threw it down. And then I was listening to, I was reading a book from Edgar Cayce, and I saw the word, the law of one, and I saw that name before somewhere. Right. And then when I looked up the word on Amazon or through the internet, and this book came up. This book is called The Law of One, and this is book one. I have all 5 books. And it's also known as the raw material.
Right.
It says by Ra, which is a channeled being or entity, a humble messenger of the law of one. And a lot of the notes that I took actually came from a fellow YouTuber. His name is Aaron Abke.
Right.
Aaron Abke. And he teaches very well, because when I came upon him, I've already read the books, and I felt that he was one of the persons that articulated the law of one so well. This book is very complicated when you read it. It's like an intelligent computer, for lack of better terms, like trying to break down things using different terms and understandings that you're like, whoa. Like, for example, human, it says mind body complex.
Right. Mind
Right.
complex.
So shout out to Aaron Abke. You could go to his look him up and check out his material. He's a good information on spirituality and so on and so forth. And I like his teachings on the law of one.
Right.
Also, I was utilizing the Llewellyn's complete book of the Chakras. I have not even begun to touch the vastness of information in this book. It's like an encyclopedia. And the author is Cindy Dale. Cindy Dale. Yeah, and other information that I have, I've channeled myself. I have, like as everyone else, we have a spiritual support team. Archangel Michael is my high spirit guide, if you want to say. He wouldn't call himself a spirit guide. He'll just, I say Archangel is my head. I'm covered by him and protected by him. And I have my spiritual support team as well as my brothers.
Right.
So y'all got anything?
My charts,
Oh, yes.
chakra charts. I got them off Amazon. This one is called Primer Charts, and it has like basically a lot of stuff, a lot of information goes in, and it got a back page also. It has a lot of information about chakras, tonings, what you need to do. It even got the for if you want, to burn some, frankincense
Okay.
or whatever. They have the frankincense, whatever chakra it opens up, it would do that. Like the heart chakra has the rose.
Okay.
So, you do stuff like that. And this one's, I don't know who this one's by, but it's the chakra centers. It don't say who's it by, but like I said, I got it off of Amazon. I saw it and I said, well, I got to have that. So,
And as I think Adone, as we started, he kind of said this information, it's not for everybody.
right.
Somebody, I don't believe in chakras. I don't believe in none of that stuff.
Right.
And that's okay. Just look at it as you heard some brothers talk about it, and you move on. But for those who find interest in it and have, may have understandings, if we said anything wrong that you may perceive as wrong, hit us up in our inbox.
Right.
But this information that we're putting out is for the awareness of those who are in a state of consciousness that is drawn to the information. It's not to force anybody or put something on anybody to believe anything that we say.
Right.
It is for those who have a deep draw
To that.
because you don't get what you want, you get what you are. So,
You know what? I just want to mention one thing to go along with what you're saying. Just having been like well traveled and have met and come in contact with a lot of people. There are souls within this earth who are really trying to understand development. And they don't necessarily get it out of the text.
right.
And
When you say text, what do you mean?
any text.
Got it.
Any text, right? But what I would mention, or what I would make a plug for is, allowing yourself to see the patterns, the consistency, in different expressions of the same idea.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I think that just if you look at the consciousness within the earth, there is a hypersensitivity to wanting to understand self, wanting to understand things beyond the physical self.
Mm-hmm.
And I've shared this with, a few people that I've talked to, and just when you look at the compilation of different texts, I hold that, you get a very redacted view of the expression of a certain concept. So as we, express our take on the information. I just want to make it very, very clear for people. It's not a matter of trying to make you see it the way that we see it. And I can vouch for these brothers. I mean, I know that we have years and years of studying one text.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And repeating the cycle of one text.
Right.
But as you come into, like what my brother said earlier, when it's your time for, you know, what we call a spiritual awakening, or what the scriptures may say as drawing near to the Creator, right? I'm pretty sure, you know, when certain leaders, right, on their journey, when they drew near, it wasn't like the person who drew near at another point in time in history.
Right.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And I would encourage everybody or anybody, you know, to allow yourself to not be captured in things that are carnal. Because as we've said before, right, you can't be in the light, hold yourself in the light, and hold somebody else in darkness.
Right.
Right.
You have to be there to put them there,
You got to be there.
whether physically or consciously.
Right. You understand what I'm saying? So, again, to each their own, right? And there's only love coming from this side of the of the screen.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? But, you know, we encourage the thought-provoking element within you, right? To awaken things that are you.
Yes.
To remind you of the truth of being. And I wouldn't be saying things like this if I didn't physically come in contact with people who are like, listen, I just don't know.
Right.
Or, you know what? I've lost my way. And I think that something that we all share as, let's just say, the human race, I think in some shape, form, or fashion, everybody is trying to make it back to the idea of original wholeness. However, they got to learn that. It's not for me to say, you know, the creator of all things didn't orchestrate your life in such a way, right, for you to get it the way that you getting it.
And can I say something to that?
Yeah.
Understanding that whether you are service to self or service to others, both polarities or both principles or ideas or thoughts are very necessary for the growth of the whole, or the growth or the learning of the one.
Right.
So, that's really all I got. You know, I hope everybody have a good week, a blessed week.
Yes.
I hope y'all enjoy.
You know, and I'll see y'all again next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peace. Shalom.
Peace, much love, and namaste. Waiting for the DJ to get that music up. There we go.
Yeah, man.
If anybody has any suggestions on topics, just hit us up.
Yeah, let us know something. Always catch us. Facebook, Fourth Principle, YouTube, and the Fourth Principle Instagram. Always.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Oh, and also Spotify.